Nashville at Zany's Comedy Club, which the Nashville Zany's is one of the best structured comedy clubs for comedy. Brian and Andrew Dorfman, legendary comedy club owners, together under one roof at the Nashville Zany's on St. Patrick's Day.
This is an actual date we're having right now?
Well, no, it bothers me that
we're dating?
When you listen to podcasts, because I listen to shit that might be 4 years old.
Big Star Trek fan.
They'll say, "Oh, I'll be at the fucking Sir Laughs a Lot."
Great club, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
No, that was Sir Laughs a Lot was Springfield, Missouri.
There was also,
but they'll plug their dates without giving the year. I'm not a guy that I listen to this shit on the road because young people who know how to work iPods know how to put it on, and I don't know.
But I have a date every year at Sir Laughs a Lot because that's
there's another one. There's a Sir Laughs a Lot.
Yes.
All right, this is the Blotto Biography podcast. Since after 23 years of comedy, I don't remember a fucking thing I've done with my life other than constantly been in a circle of the road. And this is a special one that we didn't think would happen. I have both the Dorfman brothers, legendary comedy club owners, in the same room, in the green room at Zany's in Nashville. Andrew Dorfman used to run Uncle Funny's in the day down
Way
in
back.
Davie, Florida.
Yep.
Brian Dorfman has run Zany's here in Nashville forever, and good goodness.
Good. Actually, Big Dorf just moved to Nashville. Do you know that he lives here from?
Yeah, he told me you live here now.
But
Big Dorfman was the scariest club owner next to Steve Sharippa that you ever worked for.
Yeah, just so you know, okay, I have a standing offer with Dom Herrera because he used to say that about Sharippa too, and I love Sharippa. I know that he and I can go in a ring, and I'll be the one walking out.
Oh, I believe that.
There's no way Sharippa. So he's not. I got him hands down.
Sharippa falls
I'll
into
take
the
him any day of the week.
Sharippa falls into the category.
I'm Bert will kick your. I got Bert.
Sharippa falls into the category where I always used to say, when did we become the people we used to pretend to be? And Sharippa was always the guy that pretended to be the guy on The Sopranos, and it worked out for him. But yeah,
good.
I'd have my money on you too.
Any day of the week. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Not mocking, but I'm telling you, he's not coming out of that.
You
ring.
never hit me. He did. Not hard. It was the legendary quote. Steve Sharippa, he was on The Sopranos later, but he used to run the Riviera, and he'd say to me as an opener, he was the first guy that booked me in a real club, and he'd go, you're doing 7 minutes. Not, oh, fuck, I'm going to screw it up. Yeah.
You're
not 701, not 699. 7.
That's Steve. He ran a tight room. He did. He's a tough guy.
So now you're my age, and you're the younger brother.
Yes.
Well, you're the one that's punchy and doesn't remember shit like I don't.
Well, you know, the 80s were not as good to me as they were to Brian. That's for sure.
I still had hope in the 80s.
You and I, when you came to Uncle Funny's, we used to party down and have a good time.
I remember you used to you booked me once with Otto and George.
Yes.
Because at that time, Otto and George was legendary for maybe not showing up at all.
Correct. Yes.
So you had to co-headline him.
And Otto, out of all the comics, has the best segue into a joke I ever heard in my whole entire life. He had a guy heckling him, and he looked at me and goes, "I'm going to fuck you in the ass so hard, your shoes are going to be full of blood." Everybody have a good Halloween here? Like, what? Good Halloween? What was that?
You had me do something with him, and I think it was after a 3-show Saturday where they were doing some, the radio was hosting something at a bar, that after 3 shows, you still wanted us to go to a bar.
You had to do the puppets.
I'm going to follow you. I'll be over there. And like, no, you come with us. We'll drive you. No, I'll follow you. He didn't show up.
Got to be honest, I have no clue what you're talking about.
I think it was like a titty bar or something that we were supposed to go to for political reasons.
Uncle Funny's turned into a titty bar.
Well, it wasn't a titty bar. It was a Sofa King Sports Bar. That's what we turned it into. You know, Sofa King, your girl Sofa King hot, the bear Sofa King cold. It was actually the first R-rated sports bar in the United States, and we got sued by the motion picture industry that we had to take R-rated out of the name. Because seriously, they do.
The MPAA owns R-rated.
They own R-rated. I mean, we had a
so
law.
fucked
I mean,
up.
the suit.
He
that
wasn't
they
smart
sent-
enough to spell it O-U-R.
Actually, the lawsuit we got, the booklet, it was literally like 700 pages long. Wow. The lawsuit that they sent to us, but it was the first R-rated sports bar ever, and it'll probably be the last because of that.
I used to get booked as triple X rated.
No,
at
you were
comedy
did that
clubs.
here,
no,
by the way.
Yeah,
you
but
were triple R-rated because there was no nudity.
No.
No. Well, I don't know about here, but comedy clubs in general. But
okay.
they'll never sue you for that.
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
Triple X, they distance themselves. What?
Hollywood didn't register Triple X.
Oh, really?
No, actually,
All right, we have a fact checker in the back, Radley Balco.
Actually, X-rated you can use. Anybody can use X-rated. You can't use R-rated, G, PG, but X-rated you
Can't use, and Triple X is also open. Anybody can.
right. That is actually correct. Yeah, but R-rated we couldn't use.
Speaking of, I am sponsored by Saks Underpants with 2 X's. I'm doing sponsorship for products I like, and hopefully they come around and say, yeah. That way I just
Saks
promote Saks
Underpants?
Underpants. You're a fucking old dude. I'd show them to you. Yeah, they're
What is Saks underpants?
they're underpants where they have like a ball cup inside that hold. If you have long balls, they keep.
Spanx for men.
But it's like actual like wings that hold
gonna
your
be
ball.
50 pretty-
Wings, fucking
Gonna
good.
be 50 pretty soon. We all have saggy
Yeah,
balls.
yeah,
That just
yeah.
they drop.
All right. So which one of you booked me first? I think it was.
I will
you.
tell you the story. It's 100% me.
All right.
Because
I
talking
say
about-
it's me.
Yeah,
Will the
I'm-
real person?
you know what?
No, and I will tell the story.
Wait,
and-
these are the Dorfmans.
Sorry.
I will refer to
Brian.
you as Nashville and
Actually,
Florida.
it's true.
Davey.
But
Fired you and then said,
no.
You got a book.
Let him go.
No, I'm saying because
Let
that's how
Nashville go.
I didn't book you.
Oh.
Here. All right. Lenny Sisselman booked you here. Who was the manager before me. Saw you at a comedy festival in Florida. Okay, and
This already sounds Friars Club.
no,
Lenny Sisselman was that guy.
Exactly.
Remember?
Okay, no, exactly.
We used to nosh.
19, bop, 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 bop. Okay, no, so, and I had never seen him. He goes, oh, you got to see this guy. He's hilarious. Okay, so that's where I think it was still like a Tuesday through Sunday week, whatever it was. But you got here like Wednesday night, and the show is your show. It's not easy to sit there and watch an audience to go and not having a clue what the show was. I think I'm going to see, Doug Stanhope tell knock jokes or whatever the fuck's going to be is a joke. So I am laughing. You're my style of comedy. 17 years ago or 16 and a half or whatever the hell it was, probably was not the style of comedy for Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, no.
Right. So, and the crowd was a little uncomfortable, I guess is a pretty good word to say. So I'm like scrambling. I'm like laughing. I'm crying. I got a lot of emotions going through me at this moment. So that's when I put like triple X rated everywhere, make the announcement before the shows, all that kind of stuff. So go through all week. We get through whatever walkouts we had, no fights, nothing bad, bad. Sunday night, I pay you. I said, Doug, I cannot remember the last time I've laughed this hard. I go, personally, I love you. I go, do not be offended if I never book you again. I go, here's my brother's phone number. He will give you as many weeks a year as you want.
Go down to where the Coke is. They like it. They like this kind of humor down in South Florida.
That's 100% true.
That's 100% true. And you actually called me up because I never booked. I shouldn't say I never booked, but I didn't book you for a bunch of years. And I told everybody, if you have a chance to see this guy, go see him. I didn't book you.
Not here in Nashville.
Well, no. Is this a story about you? I was the first guy that you had to apologize for firing.
Well, no, that was
good,
not. That
'cause
was
right,
that's a completely separate story.
All right, good.
You want? I mean,
No, go ahead. Keep
well,
going.
that one was.
Well, let me
Okay.
just back up. I know how you feel, both of you, because we do a huge Super Bowl party every year, and I live in a very condensed, silent residential neighborhood, which is the last 2 streets before a long way to Mexico. And we've had bands play there. We've had no noise complaints and neighbors, but it's so quiet that if you just had a conversation this loud, you can hear it 2 blocks away if you're on your porch. and they've never complained about bands. Then one Super Bowl, we thought, hey, let's put up some comics because they want to go up. And we put up Christine Levine, who's fucking hilarious. And she got about 4 minutes in, and I'm already like, okay, they're on a microphone, which is unnecessary in this neighborhood. And she's talking about having 4 kids and how it made her destroyed her pussy. Her pussy looks like it swallowed a dog and it chewed its way out. And I'm a Dorfman at the back of my yard. We're outside pacing back and forth, going, "Oh, the comment cards are not going to be good on this. I'm dying." And yeah, by 8 minutes, the cops were there.
Sorry, folks, we're not going to enforce the 2-drink minimum tonight.
Absolutely.
We'll let you go on that.
It wasn't
There's
uncomfortable.
some free passes for Mustang Sally. Will be here for the 4th of July party.
No, then you came down to Uncle Funny's, and we booked you twice a year for 5 years.
I don't think we had problems.
No, they loved you down by me.
Yeah.
Radio, we did great. You came down, you hung out, you and Betsy. That's where you met Betsy.
I used to do my impression of him. It wasn't a good impression, but I remember him picking me up from the airport and talking shit about like comics, and yeah, these comics call me up. The way I said the impression, not the right accurate words, but yeah. And then Richard Jenny calls me up and he's like, "I can't stay in the condo if it's got a microwave because I got a pacemaker." And I'm like, "Fuck him! He can pay for his own hotel." My impressions of club owners who brag about how badly they treat comics to the comics. It was based in something. I still remember the punchline. I don't know what you actually said.
That's funny.
I don't think I said that. But okay.
No, you didn't say anything like that. I wrote that before the passing of Richard Jenny. Give me an Uncle Funny story. I don't.
You know what? We didn't have any problems there. You actually, there's probably one club
Actually,
where
you were the
you were allowed
cleaner,
to come back
actually.
to. You were welcome there all the time.
I remember the guy doing the bit about the AA guy who said, and it was actually written there based on this, was Joe Vernon, my friend, who's a clean and sober guy that would always talk about AA, but tell me you're funnier when you're drunk, was based on a 3-show Saturday, which is fucking nightmarish to a comic.
Especially one with a drinking problem.
Yes. And a 7:00 show to elderly blue-haired old Floridians. And so I stayed vaguely sober through the first show, had a great second show, third show I'm fucked up, and I did some blow, which is easy to find around there, and fucking killed. And that's when he's like, yeah, you're kind of right. You are funnier when you're fucked up. Because he stayed there for all 3 shows.
When we get comics who call us and say, "Hey, I just went through AA and I'm just cleaned up and I need some help getting some work," the first thing we say, "Are you still funny?" Because when they get all cleaned up, they're not funny anymore.
Yeah, you probably can't drop any. Wait. I was going to say names of people that. How about dead guys that were? Well, let's go with the dead. We can talk about the dead
guys.
No, I'm saying you don't want to name names of people that got sober and weren't funny anymore. That's not what this podcast is about. But we'll talk about it afterwards. We are in a green room.
Like Dak Raycow, when he cleaned up, was not as funny. Remember Dak?
No, I know. I know.
He went as Kodak for a while.
I know the name. My brother said he saw him at your club. My brother's sister-in-law, their fucking in-laws, he saw Dak Raycow at your club. That's how I know the name.
And he used to go by the name Kodak, and actually got sued by Kodak and had to get rid of the name.
Fuck.
He couldn't use the name Kodak anymore. Yeah.
Well, we're not sponsored by Kodak on this.
Kozak, there's another one.
Kozak, yeah.
Actually,
and then when he went by the R-rated
last
Kodak,
week,
he got sued by
you guys know who Kozak is, right? It was the magician and stuff. The last week before he got straightened up, he used to juggle and stuff. And we had a kids show, and he got so drunk he was juggling balls and bounced one right off the kid's head right in the front row.
That's
bounced a couple of them up.
Only time you want to see someone juggle is when they fuck up.
And we're like,
I don't want to see you do this
You need to go to rehab, because the kid came down and was crying. He just busted it right off this kid's head. So,
all right, tell me about the time I was fired.
I didn't fire you from the club, doing the Bob and Tom tours.
Oh yeah.
Right. So then
Which
so,
brings it back to
so we're
no.
So we're doing the tour. So and then we just started doing the tours and they're pretty good. And then so Tom goes, let's do it. Let's he likes the show. I said Doug's probably not going to. You started doing the radio show. Obviously
Tom
great.
is always like
A huge fan.
First few times was recoiling in horror. Thought I'd never be back, and then I was surprised. And then the last several times I've done it, he's like really overly complimentary to the point where you're like, you really fucking like me.
And so, but because of the shows and the success that you had on the show, and he liked it. He goes, let's do some, let's put Doug. I go, we can't just put Doug on with, Patty Vasquez or something. You just put, 4 comics together. They're all relatively clean. Pat Godwin doing funny songs, and then
I'm trying to remember who was on that tour.
Well, it was. We did the.
It wasn't Pat Godwin.
No. We did the Dirty Show.
Yeah.
So it was you.
Oh, it was Uncle Lair.
Uncle Lair, and
Yeah.
let me think of the third one. I'm trying to think of the third one.
Schubert.
There you go, Jimmy Schubert. So, and then you
another thing.
And another.
And another thing. Don't make me bring out Stinky the sock puppet.
So then you go to South Bend.
Yeah.
So in South Bend, it might
It's
be
only the second
I
one.
don't know if it was the first or second. First or
Second.
second one, and then you can tell what I don't know. I know exactly.
Well,
you
this
made
is where
fun
it
of the
comes
club
back. It
owner,
was
but
Sean Rouse,
yeah.
who you brought
Oh,
up
I love
earlier in conversation.
I love Sean Ross.
Fucking, I think one of the funniest guys of my career that started after me. Like,
Well, you brought him into the club. You introduced me to him.
he's fucking brilliant. He's still brilliant. He's just a physical wreck with
Right.
the rheumatoid arthritis
Right.
and the new knees. He's fucked.
Right.
Book Sean Rouse. This podcast sponsored by Sean Rouse. Anyway, he had been fucked so hard by that lady in South Bend. One of these like crippling stories where he drove all the way from L.A. to do South Bend, and he's a polite kid, and he goes in and he does what they hired him to do, and there was a rape bit, and there was some woman from a rape crisis center.
I'm going to say one thing.
Yeah.
Was it the rape crisis, or was that the when she was pregnant?
I don't know, abortion, whatever it was.
Okay.
It was some hot
Rape,
button
abortion,
issue.
they're all the
Yeah.
same.
It's someone from the crowd led something. Again, I wasn't
She
there.
was. I think she was in the crowd though.
Yeah, she was in the
She
crowd.
was there. Okay, yeah.
And she went ape shit about his act, and the woman, whoever she is, fired him without paying him because that woman who led a big, rape crisis, abortion, whatever. I don't know whatever the league was.
Whoever boycotted that show.
He drove all the way from L.A. She paid him for that night and said, "Well, I'm sorry," and just
Was that Lisa Grigsby?
no.
No.
Grigsby's fucking great.
No, she's from Dayton. It was a girl. It was South Bend, Indiana.
South Bend, Indiana.
I don't know what it is.
Anyway,
She was at the show. I'm saying, wasn't she in the audience? I think she
Oh,
was
I
at the
think I
audience.
heard later she
that's
was
what
in
I'm
the
saying. I
show,
think
yeah.
it's whatever you said.
Anyway,
yeah.
I went on a giant fucking tirade in South Bend about how fucked the lady from the Funny Bone was, and wish death on her children. I don't know. It was a long, drawn out tirade. It was half my act.
Right.
And then,
So
then I got fired.
Well, no.
Sent home.
So obviously, because of that, so there's a Bob and Tom affiliate in South Bend. They're getting complaints. Bob and Tom are getting complaints, and they love you. I go, oh, we can't do this. So I called Judy at the time, your manager, and I said, Judy, I go, I love Doug. I go, but we can't do these shows anymore. I go, we can't do it. And then you called me to apologize. I'm like, Doug, I'm sorry. I go, it's my fault.
Oh,
I go,
yeah,
I mean, like the whole thing. I'm like,
I knew I shouldn't be on
Yeah.
the Bob and Tom tour,
That's exactly right.
but I was in a place where I can afford to get fired. Sean Rouse, on the other hand, they're just like a guy that's like hand to mouth, literally fucking hand to mouth,
Right.
And he's not a guy that's going to complain or has any weight to throw around, and he's crippled. And it was just, I played South Bend for the first time since on the September tour at some shithole, fun shithole. I say shithole with knowing that's where I belong. And I still fucking brought it up.
No, but I'm saying,
There's only a few people who piss me off in this industry, and I remember them. All our good stories.
Who are the people who pissed you off? Let's go there.
They'll know.
And then, and actually,
When some tragic happening befalls them, they'll never look all the way back to 1994 to Doug Stanhope, and you didn't pay him what? Lansing, Michigan.
No, actually, I think one of the most uncomfortable moments in this club, which I laugh to this day, is one of my favorite jokes I've ever heard a person say, but it's the South, so it's probably we had a 5-year break there from the first time, and so this is one of those early 7 o'clock shows, and you are just railing on the Bible. Yeah. Whatever. And then
I had those years.
Exactly. And then
before I realized it's trout in a barrel. Everyone's done it. Didn't make a difference.
You could just see this lady almost like tears in her eyes, and she shouts something out. And I think your line was, "Did you read the Bible?" I've read the Bible. I drove from Shreveport, Louisiana, to Lexington, Kentucky. I read it one billboard at a time.
I remember that.
And I mean, so this lady's walking out. I can't go to her, ma'am. That is one of the most brilliant jokes I've ever heard. I got to sit there and eat shit from this lady, knowing it's my favorite joke. I'm going to tell fucking everybody this joke afterwards, and just getting yelled at for about 5 minutes. She has tears in her eyes about you beating up the Bible.
Those are the most fun days were back in the nobody knows you days of comedy, because you were playing to anyone who would walk into a comedy club blind. And I really miss that crying bachelorette party.
Oh, she missed it. Yeah. She missed it too, absolutely. The lady, she's missing you too every night. She's like, boy, I wish those were great days with Doug.
What, do you have a good firing story?
No, I never fired. The only thing that you educated me in life a little bit at Montreal Comedy Festival.
Oh yeah, this is the story you said we can't tell.
Well,
this. Yeah, tell it.
Okay, well, I was up there. You were up there with Betsy.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you guys decided to spend the night with me because I had a room. You guys didn't have a room, or something was going on.
We spent the night with
you? I just
you?
heard you guys laughing in the bathroom. I'm like, what's going on? And you were peeing on Betsy in the shower.
It's bullshit. That happened in Salt Lake City.
No, you told me it was going on right in there. And I'm like, what the heck is going on in there?
I know I know this story because Betsy turned it into a bit where I peed on her in a tub and. Oh wait, maybe I'm wrong.
Because Betsy and I were real close. Because she's and
I peed on her in a tub somewhere, and then she got me back by peeing in coffee that she made.
Peed on you. Exactly, it's the whole story.
She peed in
your coffee.
She made a pot of coffee with pee in the so it was filtered.
But you educated me in life about that, because I married 23 years, would never think to ever be on somebody.
23 years, as long as I've been doing comedy. Yeah. I'm almost at a point in August I will have done comedy longer than I didn't do comedy before that. That's fucking scary.
Wow, that's a long time.
That is.
And that lady here, 7 o'clock Saturday night, will debate you on the comedy part.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. That's why we keep moving. All right, I don't know how we're going to wrap this up, but I'll take that other cocktail. Then we'll. Remember when I used to get whores back over to your comedy condo? Now I have these guys.
How the hell can you?
I won't even introduce you because I want to talk to you tomorrow night.
Firing story about him?
You've never fired anyone. No,
anybody.
Have I ever fired anybody?
You used to call me and throw people off stage and say, "I'll close the show."
Bill Maher, throwing him out of the club, almost killing him. Ran him out of a club in Kendall. That was an Uncle
He threw me out of his 4th of July party once.
Literally, I almost beat him up. Literally ran him out of a club and almost killed him.
How long ago?
It's probably 15 years ago, 12 years ago. We had a club.
He was on the show, whatever it was, Rascals.
We had a club down in Kendall called Rascals Comedy Club, and he came in to do a one-night show, and he was getting ready to do an HBO special. So we were recording it, and after the show, he was asking for his VHS, the tape, and the manager, Marcus, at the time, got so busy he forgot to press play. So he didn't record the show, and it was a great show. Sold out, 450 people. So I walked into the to the room, and you know me for a long time. You know I'm not really good at humble. But I walked there and said, Mr. Maher, I don't know how to explain this to you, but our manager got a little caught up and forgot to press play, so I don't have a VHS for you, and I apologize. And he goes, that's all I need to hear. And he pushed me out of the room, and I started to walk out, and there was a young lady by the name of Linda. What was Linda's last name? She used to work for Rascals in New Jersey.
Oh, you talk about it.
And she was the manager. She looked at me. She goes, well, that didn't go well. And I went, that sawed-off little motherfucker. And I walked in, kicked open the door, and I said, listen, I don't give a fuck who you are, but I'm about to kick your fucking ass if you don't get out of my fucking club. And I grabbed him, and we walked him right down the hallway, threw him in his car.
Wait, can I stop for 1 second?
Yeah.
Okay, he was only doing the early show.
Yeah, he was only
But we were doing a late show as well. So there are 300 people. This is not an empty club. So there is
300 people
there's
waiting to get
in
in.
line to get a next show. And now he also has him. He also has him by the scruff of the neck, and he's dragging him through the club. So now they're not there to see Bill Maher, but they know who Bill Maher is. Now Bill Maher is getting drugged through the club, and if it was in the days of camera phones, it would have been a great story.
And
So
the next day, I get a phone call from his agent saying, I hear things didn't go so well. And I explained to him, because listen, I understand that Bill gets a little uppity, but you forgot to pay him. I sent him the check afterwards.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great story. You guys should have the Dorfman Brothers podcast. Just telling fucking road stories.
Oh fuck! So we could tell everything about him for a little bit.
What did I do?
Fighting. Actually, but to tell you the truth, when we first opened Vernon Hills,
Did you ever hit a comic?
almost Bill Maher, but even earlier than
that's
that, though.
almost.
No, earlier.
All right.
I'm just telling you, when we first opened Vernon Hills.
Yep.
So that we opened up in September, October, and it was March. It was a special game. But there was a whole like cable special, like North Shore Magazine was doing a special, and Bill just, after proving he didn't want to do it, we actually had to send him out of town. Rick Yude, who started Zanies and everything like that, called Andrew up and said, because Andrew wanted to go down to he was actually at the house, he was going to drive back to the club and beat the fuck out of Bill Maher. Rick actually called him up and said, Andrew, not only are you not going to do that, he sent you out of town. He said, go do something. And he said, get out of wherever you were.
He sent me to
You're
go
going
do
to
a
beat
show
up
somewhere
Bill
else.
Maher. That's like beating up me.
Yeah, no, but he had anger problems. But he he did exactly. But yeah, but
I never hit a comic. Never. Thought about it a few times.
You just said, fuck it, I'll use his material when I headline. When
There's
they
nothing
hit
wrong
this
with
quick.
that. I used a lot of people's material, and I'm very free and honest about that. Actually, I never used anything from anybody who was going anywhere.
No. Well,
That's why we have open mics.
Yeah, again, you were playing to crowds that had to hear the fucking weakest shit in the world.
Thanks a lot.
All right,
you
if
are
you and
talking
Bobby
well,
Jewell were in a comedy competition,
No. You can't even compare Bobby to me. I actually
Bobby
was a
Jewell's
worker
probably the biggest douchebag. We're going to tell what comics you don't like.
Actually,
fuck.
the thing about Bobby, if there was ever a show about a comedy club, he is the perfect comedy club owner.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the quintessential comedy
There
club owner.
used to
He's
be a
perfect.
comedy club in Tampa called Side Splitters. I'm pretty sure it's gone. But they're the most legendary piece of shit douchebag owner. They should have called him Bobby the Wig because he had the worst toupee. Now, I'd worked
And slept in the condo with the comics.
He never did that. Well, here's the thing. I worked there 2 times, and the staff was great. We still have great friends. He dated one of their waitresses, lived with her for years. Great because he wasn't there. The 3rd time I was booked there, we showed up. The Tampa Bay Lightning had me as the guest guy that goes, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Tampa Bay Lightning? So I had just done the man show. They get me a jersey with Stanhope on it, which I traded to Josh Blue, and I want it back, Josh Blue. I was drunk 10 years ago. Now I'm old. We're fucked up. Me and my tour manager here, Greg Chaley, we get in a cab to go to Side Splitters. Dr. Dirty is playing. So we show up, and I have eat bite fucks up gobble. We come in blazing drunk, and Bobby Jewell is there. And then all I can see is the wig. It looks like
The wig.
Yeah, the worst fucking Dom Herrera probably wrote that joke about fucking Bobby Jewell's wig, and it's all I can see. And evidently, you don't mention Bobby Jewell's wig. It's like Tom Sobel's baby cunt on his nose from Comedy Caravan. You never met Tom Sobel?
Absolutely.
He had this perennial weeping sore on his nose.
Yeah, he used to wear a Band-Aid.
It never went away. No one could explain
what
it.
The worst part about it is it really did look like a baby cunt. I don't know if you guys know that, but that's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah, but he had it for like years.
He did have it for years.
No one could explain what it was. I'm like, I'd heard about it when I saw him. It's
a
giant
hole in his nose,
open weeping thing, and it was a giant nose, and then he would close talk you. So this giant weeping nose sore is coming at you every time he leans in to tell you how great Gallagher really is as a social commentator. He kissed Bingo's hand. Oh, this is your girlfriend, Bingo. And he leaned down to kiss her hand, and she's trying to move her hand away from the fucking sore. So anyway, Bobby Jewell, I made some crack about his fucking wig, thinking he was well aware of the fact he owns a comedy club, and he wears the worst absolute
and it has a chin
repulsive
strap
toupee. That's the joke
right.
that Dom Herrera wrote about Bobby Jewell.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I see on his face that didn't go down too well. And then you don't realize till you wake up in the morning, ooh, I did a social faux pas. maybe we can get over this. And it was obvious throughout the week he fucking hated me. Sunday night, we start playing poker after the place shuts down with the staff and Bobby Jewell. It's all in, no limit, no rebuys. This and that. And I kicked his ass. And then he's like, well, I'm buying back in. I'm like, you said no rebuys. And then it's getting real tense. And he said something. He's like, oh, yeah, you don't want to work here again, do you? I go, you think I'd come back to this shithole? And he's like, that's it. And he fucking grabbed me. And then everyone had to fucking break it up.
Really?
And then, yeah. And then
I'll let you buy in if you throw the wig in.
So I took him in the office, and I go, all right, just to settle things down. I took him in, and I go, all right, listen, let's be quiet for a second, and then as soon as, because they're all listening, so as soon as we've waited for a pregnant pause, then we just start kicking fucking file cabinets, lock the door, and just make it sound like a full-on fucking brawl, and that'll kill the fucking tension. Because I like to do that. And then he went along with it, but I still fucking woke up hating his guts. Yeah, it broke the tension for a minute, and he goofed along. But yeah, I fucking hate that guy. I hate you with every rotten tooth in my head. Black eyes to you, motherfucker.
He's actually a really nice guy.
No, he's a terrible. He's a fucking terrible person.
No.
He's fired 2 guys that were featuring there once he found out they were friends of mine. Brendan Walsh and Brett Erickson, 2 of the best. And fucking Walsh is on fire now. 2 of the best fucking comics. And not like fuck up, comics. They were like, yeah, solid.
Club owners have the right to do shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
And
Right.
apparently, and he's got the right to talk about shit on his podcast.
That's
I'm telling you, if there's ever a comedy club, he's the perfect owner. He is. He lives
For
it.
a sitcom
he acts
comedy
it.
club,
He
yes.
does. He does. He lives it. He acts it. But
Right.
if you sat down and had a drink with him, you'd get along fine with him.
well, I tried to that night. I was shit-faced and mentioned his fucking wig.
Well, the wig's not the best. That's for sure.
All right. Wrap it up.
I'm just showing you the time.
All right.
Apparently, we overstayed our welcome.
No. I've been worried about you the whole fucking time I was on stage tonight. I'm like, fucking Dorfman just drove from Tallahassee, and I'm watching the clock, and I was gonna have more fun doing this.
See, I told you he cares.
He's a giver.
He's a giver.
That's what I've always said about him. He's a giver. He should be a father because he'd be the perfect dad.
You had one waitress here that was kind of, I think Hedberg had something to do with her. She was a bit legendary.
Here we had a couple. I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to think of the Hedberg days when you first booked me. You were booking Hedberg. I think in my memory, it was like a haunted castle that I stayed in that she lived in. It was back in my let me just jerk off on your tits days. Like, that was your closing move. Where
that was my brother.
You don't want to fuck me.
Here? Or
Yeah, the first time I worked here.
No, I thought
She let me stay at her house. And
No, I thought when you said jerking off on her tits, I thought you were talking about my brother.
what?
No, I'm trying to think. Is it?
Hedberg doing acid?
Was she crazy?
Yes.
Was it Mary Jane? Was that her name?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
I'm going to tell you. One thing. Here's one thing about this girl. You could, as a guy running a club, any girl can call it any time and call off. Say you got plumbing problems.
Yeah.
There's not a single guy will go, oh, whatever. Okay, good. And argue with you about your plumbing problems. So she wanted to go to a party on Saturday night. This girl called off with pancreatic cancer. I'm just telling you, she was fine on Tuesday, but she had that's all you got to do. She called off work with pancreatic cancer.
Back Saturday.
It was a Saturday. She wanted to go to a party. I thought that was a little unnecessary. And if you talk to anybody at the time, and then I'll tell you one more story. We had Earthquake was here. So this is like the first time. This is probably 15 years ago. Earthquake was here, and Earthquake was working here on Halloween week. Okay. Can we wear costumes? Sure. Wear costumes. So me being Jewish and Earthquake being black, I thought Hitler was a little excessive for a waitress to be wearing. That's the costume she chose.
Pancreatic cancer.
She not right either.
She walks into the club as Hitler. That is
It is hot. It is kind of hot.
I just didn't think that was the best outfit. It wasn't a great choice.
And you fired me.
I never fired you. I waited till Sunday. Said I just don't think it's a good fit. I said I don't think it's not you. It's me.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, yeah, but what about the girl in the Hitler?
I did send her home though. I said you
she'll
can't wear
fuck
Hitler.
comics. She's good for business.
Yeah, she was here before I got here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think there was.
She was batshit crazy, by the way.
There's some clubs that you show up and you work, and they're like, oh, I remember Pittsburgh, where there's a club, the Improv in Pittsburgh used to have a waitress that was legendary for she fucked a tell, Norton peed, or she peed on Norton in the green room toilet.
We've all done that.
And I'm like, oh, are you the girl? Yeah, cut to.
Yeah, what's your fetish? Wow.
Yeah. Well, if you peed on Norton, I guess I don't have to try real hard.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Mary Jane, I think, was your.
Yeah, I can't tell you if she peed on anybody. I can just
No,
tell you.
she was more known for crazy.
Oh, crazy.
But, yeah, a lot of comics got close to it. All right, I'm getting fucked up. Let's wrap it up.
Okay, let's go get fucked up.
Yeah. Wait, you're still up?
Yeah, let's go get an 8-ball. Oh, that's back in the 80s. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's another Uncle Funny story.
We got some Coke this week that someone palmed us at the merch booth and had to throw it out. Like,
Yeah, that's good.
even Bingo's like, no. And the Bingo's
Wait,
usually.
I will say one thing, though. He might be the only club owner to party with a comedian on a Saturday night and actually try and force the comic to cancel Sunday night. The comic wanted to do the show. Andrew goes, I'm too fucked up. I don't want to do the show. No, people bought tickets. Let's do the show. No, I don't want to do the show. That probably hasn't happened too often.
No, that's
So who was that?
He's doing well now. We don't want to say it.
let's just say he's in a program.
Hey, he wasn't anonymous then.
He was not anonymous, but he's in a program
All right,
now.
get us a round of drinks. These guys have fucking too many stories. I'm gonna just milk you. I've been I'm polite, and I think that you want to leave, but you have too many fucking good stories. So I'm gonna just keep talking till you guys go. Fuck it, you wrap it up. 3 cocktails, or just one.
I'll grab a Bud Light.
Bud Light, bingo.
I'll bartend.
Can we?
I got a notepad. Bud Light?
Bud Light.
I'm just drinking vodka on the rocks.
That's a wicked lie. He's giving you the eye of he's
No, it's vodka on the rocks. It's flavored vodka, but it's vodka.
flavored like what?
It's called
Sprite?
Loopy Vodka.
Fruit Loop?
It's Fruit Loop vodka,
Oh shit! Fruit Loop vodka.
It's Fruit Loop vodka,
Good.
but it's-
I like you're getting
but it's vodka on the rocks. It's
faggoty
called
like
Loop-
me
it's called
in my
Loopy
old
vodka.
age. I don't want to
Yeah, it's called Loop-
recoil from a shot
Yeah, no,
anymore. No,
Huh? That's-
no. I drink stuff
it
that
does,
tastes
it's-
like nothing or good.
It tastes delicious.
Absolutely.
Can I get a blueberry vodka?
Blueberry vodka. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can I get a Count Chocula gin?
You know what I bet?
I think they have.
I bet you they make that now.
All right, we're back
Who are we
from
sponsored-
break.
who are we sponsored by?
That break was sponsored by Brian Dorfman. Will let me smoke a fucking cigarette in the green room.
Absolutely.
Will you?
Absolutely.
Woo-hoo! All right. Give me a cigarette. I saw an ashtray over there. We have respected the don't smoke in the condo thing.
It's oh, that's nice, but fucking my manager smokes her all the time. Why shouldn't you?
Oh, I'm the smoke Nazi.
I thought it was him.
Nah, no.
But thank you for
We had-
respecting the condo.
Yeah, no.
Very kind of you.
We do that. Well, I read the rules.
I didn't. Yeah.
What are the rules in the condo?
The rule is if you smoke in the condo, you will never be booked back ever again. Which, at this point, I think never again. Maybe someday. I remember your condo in Davie, Florida.
Yeah.
Do you remember when I worked with, at that time, probably DT Tosh, now known as
Right.
Dan Tosh?
Okay.
And Chicken was the opener. Do you remember this?
Michael Roof.
Michael Roof.
Michael Roof was the MC. We're all staying.
By the way, the only comic I've ever fired. Now
did
that
you
read
fire
that
him?
as an
I
MC.
fucking love you for that.
But
And
finish your story. I'll tell you why though.
he was a fucking prick. Like he was killing. This guy made Dane Cook look like fucking Lenny Bruce. As dumb as he was, he would come out with such nothing where, hey guys, don't you hate going to dance clubs? And all the people are like, and then he'd cue his music and it'd be, hey Sheila, it's your birthday. And all he'd do is dry hump the stool
He fucked the
and
chair,
then
right.
jump in the audience and dry hump a dude in the front row. And the crowd would go ape shit. Like there's no premise. There's nothing other than don't you hate dance clubs? Because guys are like this, cue, and dry humps a dude. And he was destroying at your club in Davie so
They
hard.
did like shiny objects.
Where Dan Tosh, they're chanting for Chicken. He went by the name Chicken. After my show, they're chanting for Chicken. And then you'd say, hey, listen, you do whatever, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. And he would do 7 extra minutes. And he wouldn't listen to you. He wouldn't listen to fucking management. He'd just do his time. He's a guy I fucking pushed into a men's room. Like, you're a fucking cunt. You do your fucking time. Don't be a prick.
Worked out well for him.
Yeah, he killed himself.
No, he did kill
Woo!
No, but
I just did Tosh.0, and I haven't seen him since a long, long time ago. And I go, did you read where fucking Chicken killed himself? How happy were you? And he's like... And Dan Tosh said something like conciliatory, like, yeah, I guess he had a hard time. I go, but how happy were you? He goes, oh, don't get me wrong. I fucking shit my pants with joy. What a dick that guy was, and awful. So go ahead.
I did not fire him for any type of comedian or comic reasons, but so he was the MC. It was young in there. So one of the things I think an MC should do is at least say goodnight to the customers. He fell asleep on Wednesday night and Thursday night. Never came back to the club. He just fell asleep. So and then he did it in between. Like it was like Friday night. He did it like 3 nights in a row. And I said after Friday night early show, I figured this is going to be a problem. And I said you got to go.
Yeah, he was
but it was
really cocky
yeah,
before
absolutely.
his time.
But he was not because of the comic stuff. He literally just that's when the house was the condo. We went across the street and just fell asleep. Never came back.
He's the guy I think destroyed Montreal.
He did.
He was
destroy
the he was the last big
For the
development
development
deal.
deals, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, where they gave him
Yes.
the last big.
$250,000, I think he got.
I might have been more.
Yeah. He got. It was the last big deal. At least that's what everybody
he
says.
did one or two shows and killed, and then immediately they canceled the rest of his shows before they saw through the facade,
Right.
And then started the bidding war, and then he went on to do fucking nothing but kill himself, which is great.
Tough closer to follow.
This should be sponsored, I think, right now by some like those antidepressant drugs. I think it's for this sponsor part of the show.
By Lexapro. Paxil.
Now I'm trying to think what Brian Hennigan would do right now, because Brian Hennigan's the guy that comes into the club if he's on the road with us, my manager, and he the Scotsman, and he'll go, what's the worst comedian you've had here? Who's the worst tipper? What's the guy? Like, you want to get the dirt on the comics.
The comics are the worst crowd, because the worst crowd I've ever had in my whole entire life is Jackie Mason's crowd. There's nothing worse than old Jews. I mean, you just walk up to a table of old Jews and go, "Was anything okay tonight?"
You should have
Because
hired Mary Jane
They
to be
are
the waitress that night.
absolutely
Okay.
absolute worst crowds.
Let me
ever.
ask you.
Yes.
I should have a waitress in here to balance this out. Worse than, you probably haven't booked him, Mark Lundholm.
Oh, we know
AA
Mark.
comedy.
Oh, no,
I
we-
love Mark
No, I
Lundholm.
can't-
He's a great guy.
we-
Would you rather have
I
old
wouldn't- no,
Jews
no,
or
hold on.
AA people?
Hold on.
He does
I will give you
12-step
one more.
comedy.
I'll give you one more worse than both of that. Is we used to do Christian shows, so the crowds would laugh. But I've never seen that. Somebody actually left a waitress a fake bill. So she thought it was a tip, and then you open up the bill, and it was scripture on there. So it's like, like the
there'll
waitress,
be no
she did-
money.
Yeah,
But
no
on your
money.
deathbed, you receive total consciousness.
So girl gets it,
So I
and
got
on the
that
bill,
going for
open
me,
up,
which is so
it's,
nice.
you know, scripture. I'm like, well, she
No,
really
no,
can't
no,
pay the rent with that one.
Caddyshack. No, Mark Lundholm's not a good guy.
He's always nice to me.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
Once an
anti-AA
alcoholic,
the
always
same way I'm atheist. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
bullshit.
No. I think he's got 10 different babies at 10 different clubs around the country.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He
sleeps
could
with all
fuck
the
your
waitresses.
waitresses sober?
Oh, he's
sorry.
He's really great at that. He's really-
What? Doug's over there. Why don't you just piss on him and jerk off on him like everybody else? Who does he think he is? Fucking her normal.
Wow.
I will tell you a great customer story.
Yeah.
So
Find a veteran waitress. I want to find
No,
out
this-
who the biggest piece of shit tippers are. Never
See if
mind.
Chantel's
You
still
can
out there.
stay.
So, group of 6 really drunk girls, and one was crazier drunk than the rest.
Hang on. Your brother's spitting fucking vodka through his nose. Fruit Loop flavored
let me ask you a
vodka
question.
through his nose.
Are you going to tell the Wet Willie story after that?
It's nothing. Okay, no. So 6 drunk girls at a table. One crazier drunk than the rest. So I find the most sober girl in the party that I can possibly find. I said, listen, she's got to go. They all agree. They pay you. The 2 of them are going to leave, so they pay the part of the bill for this girl, and they walk out. The other girl, I didn't really have a lot of conversation from, but I guess she was unhappy because she leaves the room, and actually right behind this wall where we are sitting, she walks around, she unbuttons her pants, squats down, and lays a deuce right there on the sidewalk. And I'm going to tell you, my security guard comes inside. We're over there. We're laughing. He's across. He comes inside. He wants to shoot her if he can. He's never been more horrified. And the best part about that story is, so everybody that I played college hockey with, I tell that story to. They go, was she hot? Yeah, that was.
This podcast should be called "Before There Were Cell Phone Cameras." Like,
Absolutely.
like all the shit that I'd remember now.
Oh, no, that would be
against my
right.
will.
Yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
Right.
Yeah. Thank God I'm not fucking 25 anymore.
Since you're editing this, he can continue the story because that's one of our favorite stories because you can't beat that, right? You tell a story like that, you can't beat it. Well, we told it to one of our partners, the guy, his name's Bill Dickinson, who owns Wet Willie's, and as soon as he told that story, Bill goes, oh, I can beat that. I got a better story.
Yeah, right. No, you tell the story.
Okay.
But
So-
sometimes, at the end of the story, we were up in Louisville, whatever it was.
Right, exactly.
And he goes, and I've never heard that response for. He goes, that's nothing. Nothing? Really? I've never heard that response before. So you can tell the story.
Okay, so Wet Willie's, it's a daiquiri bar.
I remember Wet Willie's.
Okay,
They
so
were
you-
beside
It's
the
actually,
Knuckleheads.
by the way,
chain.
it was whatever year it was. It was
St.
St. Patty's Day.
Exactly.
Right.
So they have drink. Their number one drink that they sell millions of dollars with is a drink called Call a Cab. You drink that because you got to call a cab. And on St.
And it's a frozen drink.
It's exactly
Frozen drink, but it's got grain alcohol in
St.
it.
Patty's Day. They're right down. They're in Savannah, and they're right on the river there. Okay, and back, they have thousands of people that come. So they take the street over up above just to put a line of porta potties out there to service all the people that it's that big of a party. So he goes up there to check on everybody to see how things are doing. And in the porta potty, the door's wide open, and there's a girl in there just leaning in, just throwing up in one of the porta potties. And behind her is her boyfriend with her skirt up, just drilling her right in the porta potty.
I'm pumping it out of her.
I was waiting for Doug to go, that reminds me of a waitress, I'm telling you, in Pittsburgh.
You know what? That story.
El Paso,
That's
Texas.
That's
El
nothing.
Paso, Texas. At Bart Reed's Club. What happened there?
Bart Reed's Club. You know Bart Reed?
Yeah, I used to work
I
for
guess
him.
comedy club owners are a much smaller
No,
bunch
I used to
than
work
comedians.
for him when I was
Really?
a comic. Yeah, I
In
used to
El
have that.
Paso?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
You were a comic?
yeah. Many.
I thought you just watched enough of them, wrote some notes down, and went,
Obviously, you have not played in Vallejo, California.
I thought you were just cheap. I'll take a cocktail, and we're going to take a quick break here, and then cut in with an interstitial.
I still want to know what's an interstitial.
It's like a bumper. Okay,
And
here's
that's a real word, interstitial.
yeah.
Doesn't fucking matter because it's fancy. You and I aren't going to disprove
No,
it.
good eye.
Right,
We're
yeah.
product of public schools. I don't
Yeah.
understand those words.
Fucking check that fucking reference into a board, hockey man.
Go to DougStanhope.com. If you assholes would just take 1 second to either email me with what city you're in, I'll folder it in my Hotmail. Yes, I still have Hotmail. Or just sign up on my goddamn mailing list, because eventually Twitter will go the same way as MySpace and the Facebook, and then it'll be a LinkedIn world. And then something else. But if you just go to my website, DougStanhope.com, and just sign up on the mailing list, but you're too fucking lazy. I hate every time I play a city, I get a million emails going, when are you going to play my city? Well, I just played there, but you didn't know it because I wasn't on Leno or now Jimmy Fallon.
Nothing is worse than going back at my age to a comedy club and seeing the waitress that you fucked 20-some years ago is still working there. And you go, I hoped for something more out of you. I thought you were going to move on. To what were you going to say?
I want to know about when you went back to a comedy club and there was a waitress here from 20 years ago. Has that ever happened? Anybody come up to you and say you got a kid?
Go Bananas in Cincinnati. The best fucking club over the years that I've ever worked that stayed the same partiers, but you don't feel bad for them like they have to do it. It's almost like a commune that got old from the 60s, but they're still a commune, and they still, comedy still pays the bills, but we give them drinks, and then we get fucked up, and we're fun. And who was your fucking bartender, the hottest chick I've ever...
Val.
Yeah, it's her. No, fucking
Val.
Val was this girl,
Yeah.
and she was like post fucking, like she was bored with it already, but the hottest chick in that bar. And occasionally you could get her to drive you home, but she's like, yeah, all your young mullet shenanigans are not working on me.
Not with Val. No.
God damn it. And I bet she still looks
She
as
worked
good.
with me from the day I opened to the day we closed.
Which is how long? Did
That we
Uncle
closed?
Funny's in Davie, Florida?
9 years ago, we closed to open up the Improv at the Hard Rock.
Did she go there with you though?
She went over to the Hard Rock
for a
too.
little bit. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. She
Whatever
went-
happened to Johnny Chung?
Chung, I think, moved to L.A. and then San Francisco. He had some problems, not just his skin.
He used to
but
run
had some
Go
real,
Bananas,
I
right?
think. Yeah,
He was a manager,
yeah,
general manager?
But he left it in charge of the underlings, who became, they're fucking great. Mikey and fuck, no, I hate forgetting some guy's name on a podcast. Come on,
You
fuck.
can edit it.
No.
Put his name back in.
Anyway, yeah, we'll edit that for sure. We'll edit a lot of it. All right, one more cocktail, one more cigarette in front of Dorfman where you can't fire me.
Doug is the only comic that you had your own ticketing system.
Well, no, a lot of comics are using it now. Brown paper tickets, I guess, should be a sponsor because they do. Yeah, and there's a million of them. Brown paper tickets is the best we've found, where you can just even fucking Chad is running a open
Even
mic
Chad.
fucking thing. No, I'm saying like guys who are just running their own thing on the side as a local. Hey, it's a Nashville comedy festival for a day and a thing. Yeah, you can use brown paper tickets and just. At some point, when we were doing rock and roll clubs, we're like, all right, these clubs are firing us. Fuck them. We're going to start working all these places where we have a mailing list fan base, and we'll just work the bar that we drink at after your club, which is really how it started. And we just trust the door guy. And we're like, yeah, these door guys might be fucking us. Let's, all right, I'm too drunk for this. Go. You tell them.
What happened was it was right after the Sean Rouse thing because we were at the Tampa Improv, and that was the last improv you did for like 2 years. And we found Brown Paper Tickets, which was a really small company at the time, and we ran with them. We were the first comic on there, and from that we were able to book these clubs. And after like 3 clubs, it's like, this can't be fucking right. How much money we were getting before we even walked in the club, because everything was done online. Because your fans seek you out and will go find you. And instead of doing 4 or 5 shows in a weekend somewhere, we do 1 show, 1 night, so everyone goes to that
but we
one
can't
show.
fuck you anymore, and that's what the club owners are in it for.
Boy,
We-
was there a lot of fucking going on.
I'm telling you, this room only holds 210. I don't give a fuck what you say, and don't forget it, okay?
But see, that's
Papa
it.
needs a new pair of shoes.
No, it was when we were doing the rock and roll clubs that we thought, hey, we don't have any control over the door. Why don't we
That's the way it's supposed to be.
we were
Why rock the fucking boat? What is your problem? We've
trying
been
to
doing this
figure
for
out
years.
how to use PayPal. Well, maybe people can PayPal,
Yeah.
and that's when he looked it up and found brown paper tickets.
Son of a bitch.
I mean, there's a bunch of them out there right now, but Brown Paper Tickets was a really small company located in Fremont, and I was living in
I
Seattle
heard they
at
closed.
the time. No, they certainly did not.
I'm telling you, I heard that they
They're
closed.
actually international
They're out
now.
of
Brown
business.
Paper Tickets. they're great. And Doug, you've actually done some work with them. No,
We don't need a sober voice right
I'm
now.
just
Brown
saying-
paper tickets piss on anybody. I'd like to know that. Any wait staff,
They
anything.
piss on Ticketmaster. They
That
piss
was
on
it.
Everybody
Ticketmaster.
should say Ticketmaster. Everybody should do that.
And that
That's
was the big
ridiculous.
push.
Anyway, that's another podcast. Listen, we got to get out of the green room. The fucking staff has to go home.
Yeah, I'm through with you.
The Dorfmans.
I'm through with you.
We could do this for a long, long time if we had fucking rails. Oh wait, here's another thing.
And another thing. Here's another
And
thing.
if we didn't have to say names, we could do this for a long time.
Exactly. I stuttered on the names a lot.
Exactly.
Next time we'll just talk about the dead ones. Oh, I remember when he came in. Because they can't call back and go, that's bullshit.
I had more fun with the live ones, putting them to bed.
No, the ones that are dead now we can talk
Oh,
about.
I got you.
It's
Absolutely.
history. All right, I got to go. Bradley Balco's getting irritated. All right, that's a sign-off. I'm sponsored by that. We'll edit this into something.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Play the Mator.